All right, guys. So today, just want to make a nice little calm YouTube video. I don't know. I wanted to show up the scenery. I want to switch it up a little bit. I'm outside chilling. I just talk to you guys. One thing I do want to talk about though is I feel like Gen Z as a whole has no purpose, and I've definitely been caught into this trap before. I've slowly been starting to realize, my purpose in life, and I feel like it's to leave a positive impact on people's lives. And I feel like COVID really heightened it for sure. We were all in our rooms, right? So we had no reason to really do anything, right? Everyone was sick, so we all we did was either gooned, played video games all day, or you probably maybe even just watched movies all day or just consumed TikTok or YouTube. And when you're that idle and you run on autopilot for so long, right? Uh-oh. When you run on autopilot for so long, right, your direction starts to get blurred. It really does start to get blurred. And for me, I was running on autopilot for so long that I didn't know what I wanted. And at first, I thought maybe streaming is my thing. And I do love streaming, but I was mindlessly posting clips thinking, oh yeah, clips or just funny, trying to be someone I'm not will get me views and try to blow up and I'll be the next Kai Cenat. When in reality, that's not the case, right? Everyone goes on their own pace. I feel like you just have to be more authentic, but that's besides the point. I just decided to do something. That's the thing. Like I decided to do something outside my normal comfort zone. When you do something, you kind of just narrow down your sense of direction, right? It could be art, it could be video games might be your purpose, it could be anything, bro. But if you just sit idle for so long, you're not really gonna get the most out of life. And you're just gonna stay stuck. And that big mindset shift for me from the mindless TikTok streaming, posting all those random clips, that shift to all this like, philosophy stuff and just trying to, empower people was, my reason to keep pursuing, my goals. And for you guys it might be different, right? But I don't know, I just want to see you guys win. I want you guys to do something. I want you guys to make something of yourselves. And one thing I feel like also helps you if you don't know what you want to do is embrace that boredom. Don't try to fill that boredom with random noise like your phone or maybe just gooning or just something that's very unproductive, right? You should sit there and reflect. And I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I reflect a lot. It's both positive and negative, but if there's something that I need to change about myself, I'll sit there and reflect and try to change. The goal at the end of the day is to become a better person. And that also helps me find my meaning, right? Because I do want to become a better person just because of the content I post too, right? I want to live by my philosophy and practice exactly what I preach. So, you know, the goal is definitely to become a better person day by day. And yeah, but embrace that boredom. Do not try to fill it with random noise. And, you know, go do something, experience life, travel, you know, just do something that, at the end of the day will give you enjoyment. And, you know, and it's hard because back in the day, right? Like back in the day, right? Your purpose was tied to survival. You had to plow the fields and take care of the cattle, do all this extra stuff just to survive. And your purpose was already derived for you, right? Like if you didn't plow the fields, if you didn't take care of the cattle, if you didn't take care of the livestock, you'd eventually die. And you had to go out and do something. But nowadays, right, it feels as if you know no one has any purpose because everything is so convenient, right? Like if you go to a grocery store and buy food, it's just readily available, right? You can go to a grocery store, buy food, and it's not
that that you could you
it's nothing you have to work for. It's something that you have to grind for in a way, right? You don't have to work for it, you don't have to grind for it. But you know, back then you had to grind for it. And even even with the advancement of social media, AI, and all this other technology stuff, right? It's hard to become disciplined and focused and, try and find your true calling in life because, you know, everyone has their own idea of what a beautiful life is. When you scroll on TikTok, everyone's living this life, that life. Everyone's living an extravagant life, right? And you start to compare yourself and you start to think, oh yeah, I want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this, right? But oftentimes it's good though. I won't lie. Oftentimes, when you scroll through social media and you find, what you truly want, it kind of helps you find your own meaning. Like for example, I was going through like TikTok and I saw a bunch of philosophy stuff and like self-help stuff, and that really helped me because you know before I liked philosophy, right, but I was never really like engrossed and like I never was really super passionate about it, but I liked it just as something to consume, right? And but when I started watching more of it, I generally, sorry guys, my phone did run out of storage, but as I was saying, um for me, as I started to pursue or watch more philosophy TikToks and short form and YouTube videos, I really did feel like I found my calling in life essentially. And but the thing is, I feel like for some people they fall into the trap of consuming content thinking certain things are meant for them when in reality they're not. I just myself find what I really wanted to pursue, but for some people uh their sense of direction gets blurred by social media, TikTok. They see people make a bunch of money and think, oh yeah, I gotta do drop shipping, I gotta do e-com, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. When in reality, right, your calling could be a plumber, or it could be, a doctor or something, but they don't really take the time to reflect on what they truly want. And we all get stuck in a cycle, but you just gotta take some time, sit down, embrace that boredom, take 30 minutes out of your day, go on a walk, sit at the balcony and just reflect on what you truly want. And one thing I also want to talk about too is if you keep consuming and not creating, you're not truly gonna find like what you really want, your purpose, your meaning, right? Because when you create, you again start to narrow down your sense of direction, right? When you start doing art, when you do art, and if you don't enjoy it, right, you could just be like, okay, maybe art's not for me. And maybe you could do something else and that's not for you. And then maybe the third time, oh yeah, I really want to do this. This is what I really, really enjoy, right? But you know, when you consume, right, all you're doing is consuming, you're just being idle again. You're just kind of being, operating at a state of autopilot where you're just consuming TikTok, or it could be just food, it could be anything. It could just be anything that's not making you a better person or that's not helping you towards that ultimate end goal of living life with purpose and meaning, right? And essentially the true meaning of life, I do feel like the true meaning of life is to exist, but at the end of the day the true meaning of life is to give life meaning. You have to wake up every day and find something you want to do, or find something that really like you really enjoy. It doesn't have to be something you can make money off. It could be something you enjoy doing, and from there you can find what you truly want. And yeah, it just becomes one of those things where you just can't be idle. Idleness kills that drive, that creativity, that meaning. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. um hope you guys like, comment, subscribe. I will upload more videos, more like you know full length, one of those full length actual knowledgeable information dense videos. But I decided to switch up a little bit. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. It's been Brilly. Take care, and I'm out. Bro, look at these fuck ass deer, man. I don't want to get too close, but I don't know. These fuckers might run away, but look at them, bro. Oh my goodness. And what's that fuck nigga looking at? Why are you looking at me like that? Oh my goodness, bro. Yo, Bambi the dope been going crazy, bro, in the off season. My goodness. Look at all this, bro.